The House Oversight and House Judiciary Committees are subpoenaing former White House counsel Dana Remus for testimony related to President Biden's classified documents scandal. Comer says Remus was involved in the early stages of packing and moving the boxes containing classified material. The White House was asked about all this yesterday.
In Wilmington, I'm just curious, would the White House support cooperating with the committee's oversight, specifically with this subpoena for Dana Remus?
I'm just not going to comment from here, which is consistent with what we've been doing from here.
Pretty consistent.
Pretty consistent. Tomi Lahren joins us now. Tommy, you know, Jack Smith really showed a lot of hustle when he was investigating Donald Trump and the documents. The guy investigating Joe Biden, John Lauch, has been investigating Joe Biden's documents for literally 1 year today. Where's he been? Why is Comer and Jordan doing his job?
Yeah, again, consistent with not giving us any information from that lectern, that podium. So I will give Karine Jean-Pierre that one. But, you know, when we're talking about classified documents, we've just heard over and over again when it comes to former President Donald Trump that mishandling of classified documents is a threat to our national security, that it must be investigated to the fullest extent and consequences applied to the fullest extent and letter of the law. So in that case, if we're applying that to the current President Joe Biden and his handling or mishandling of classified documents, I hope that the two investigations would be similar. I hope that the two investigations would be just as ferocious, because if this is about protecting documents and protecting our national security, I would sure hope it applies to both of the presidents in the same manner. However, my friends, I will not hold my breath. I hope that we're going to see more testimony, more subpoenas. I hope we're going to see more people going on record. But I'm not confident that that's ever going to happen. And I think that there's a pretty good track record to back up my apprehension.
Yeah, and the reason Comer is interested in these documents is because he wants to know if the documents in the garage had to do with any of the countries that Hunter was doing business with. So interesting note there. Also interesting, CNN had a poll in September, found 61% of people think that President Biden was involved in Hunter's business dealings. 42% say they think he acted illegally. But if you look at the top issues, Tommy, that matter most to Americans and could determine how they vote, it's the kitchen table issues, crime, the economy, things like that. So what does that say about this country?
Well, listen, we're all going to be more concerned about what's happening in our families and what's happening with our finances than we are in scandals. And I think that that's actually healthy. I'm happy to hear that the American people care more about their finances and their budgets and their families. That also applies to the way the Democrats are handling our country and the Biden inflation Americans are struggling with. But, you know, I said this to you guys last week when we talked about more of these investigations. Investigations are great. I'm glad the Republicans are doing them. We need to get to the bottom of these issues, but they have to prove to the American people that they can also help to manage this country and put it on the right track. That has to be first, because investigations alone are not going to win elections. And unfortunately, Republicans have this knack for losing every major election. So we have to get better at that. Investigate all you want, but you got to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. And the part of that gum chewing is the finances of the American people and our national security. That's most important.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.